Greetings and welcome, everyone, to AllYouCanGeek podcast, episode number 200. Woo! I'm Jim. Joining me is Mike.
What's up?
Corey.
Yo!
And Tony.
Hello.
From behind the curtain.
Here we are, guys.
Yep.
This is the
mystery revealed.
This is 200. This is our first ever video podcast. So,
is it going to be better than the book?
is it going to be even video at this point?
Yeah.
So yeah, we hope to make this entertaining in the video form. I don't know, but we'll see.
At the very least, you can maybe match a face to the sounds
Yeah.
we're hearing.
Now, we obviously have a couple devices here for our news. So usually we have a week in between podcasts. We didn't have the full week, so you're not going to get box office numbers from this weekend, as Tony loves it. Tony
Very
loves it.
upset.
So, yeah, this is episode 200, guys. We made it. This is
4 years.
It's not 4 years exactly, but it's about right.
We've had a couple.
It's like 4 years.
We've had a couple missed
It's been a
weeks
while.
and stuff. So.
Yeah. So, just want to start off by, I guess, want to just reminisce or talk about who you are.
Sure.
I mean, let's start it off like that. They haven't met us really. You know, they know our
Well,
voices.
you're the host.
Origin story. I
All right.
demand it.
Well, yeah, we could talk. We did say we were going to talk about that. So,
Right.
so AllYouCanGeek. Now, I'm Jim, Corey, Mike, Tony.
Yeah.
Wow. So, 4 years ago, Corey and I were just killing time essentially on Monday nights. We usually get together and watch some shows, play some games, and he brought up the point like, "Hey, let's try a podcast." So we had some fun. We just recorded a 30-minute. I think it was 30-minute.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, about 30 minutes, which according to him, you'll never hear. But it was bad.
Unreleased.
It was pretty bad. I mean, I don't know how much better we've gotten.
I think we've gotten better.
But
At least we're more comfortable talking in front of...
No.
Well, actually,
No,
this
not
is
in
the
front of
first
me.
time.
This is the first
In
time
front
we're
of
talking
my,
in front of
The
anyone.
camera.
my
But-
camera, yeah. And hopefully the video comes out well here. But anyway, so that's what we started out with 4 years ago. A little over 4 years ago, because we didn't really pull it together for a couple weeks after that.
Yeah.
And we did a couple episodes. You'll hear if you listen to episode, I think 1 and maybe 2. They're without Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew you went on right away.
3 or something.
But we were recording,
Two.
actually, at that point we were recording in my room, my bedroom, actually, with my little recorder we had. We had a little table set up. We used to get together and record. We thought the audio quality wasn't the best, so then we ended up switching to Skype, which means we don't have to see each other anymore,
In person.
in person. And because of that, we were actually able to add Tony, who you've met a few times before that on the podcast, but was able to add him. We were able to add him permanently in here because now we don't have to get together like this. And
Well,
'cause
Tony, you're the
live-
furthest away.
Yeah, we all live.
Yeah.
Geographically.
These
Yeah.
guys are from Jersey. I'm from Pennsylvania. So.
Yeah, well, Mike and I live close. Corey, kind of not that far.
That's
that
not too
far.
bad.
For Tony, it's pretty good hike. So we can't, unfortunately, do these video podcasts always, but maybe we can do them every
We may figure something
Every
out.
so-
every
We'll
so often.
think of something to show you first, and then
Yeah.
we'll give you something every now and then.
Or I could just get teleportation. That'd be great. Anyone out there listening?
You want to build that up? Do it. So, yeah.
Send in your teleportation ideas to.
Yes.
The great thing about podcasting is it's free, basically.
Yeah.
It's essentially. I mean, there's a little overhead, but it's really easy to do.
Minimal.
And it's a great way to chat about stuff
Yeah.
you like. I mean,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, whenever I would see you guys at, mutual events, whether it's just parties or hanging out, board game night, whatever, half the night would be spent, talking about, let's play, what games have you been playing, what movies have you been watching?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's so few and far between that, there's so much to cover, you can't do it in one night, so it's like, at least doing this on a weekly basis gives us an opportunity to, see what's up, what's going on, and,
especially
discuss
since
things.
you are further away.
Right, and definitely,
don't see each
discuss things that are more relevant. And I think when I first got it was around the Mass Effect 3 debacle.
Yeah.
Which,
I think
some of you
that's
might
about
remember.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was about right. There was a year where we mentioned Mass Effect, I think, in every episode.
Well, when Mass Effect 2 came
Mass
out.
Effect 2, yeah.
That
Pretty
year.
much the time between Mass Effect 2 and 3, we almost mentioned
Yeah.
it every
Well, I mean,
episode.
it was basically our game of the year for everything, and
In some ways, that series defined that generation.
in a way.
Well, good ways and bad ways.
Yeah.
More bad than good.
And, it is because of
It's
that, though. Like we
It's
mentioned,
all good until the end.
I mean, it's the last thing you tasted, though. It's like, oh, that ending for a lot of people, they just didn't like it. But the rest of that story was fantastic. People
And the games were so enjoyable. Like that Mass Effect 2's ending was so good. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
We expected the third one.
I mean, hey, Mass Effect 2 could have been the end for you if you wanted it to be.
It should have been. This side will agree.
Sacrifice yourself.
So, Mass Effect 2 ending had more variety than the Mass Effect 3 ending.
Yeah, that's what we were expecting for 3, and that's why I think a lot of people were upset. They thought it would have a purpose what you would do, especially that galactic readiness stuff. And it meant nothing.
And, recently, since we all played or watched The Wolf Among Us, I was talking to Casey recently about, because he also played through it, and we were saying how we're both a little disappointed in the lack of meaningful choices, or the, repercussions of the choice that you take are just kind of superficial. It's like, so we'll remember that. And it's like, yeah, well, it never came up again, so no, she fucking did.
Yeah, but you know what?
It doesn't matter.
Like what we mentioned last week with how we're just very, because of Mass Effect 3, it's like, yeah, it's not going to come back. Yeah. And I know it is.
Same thing with
perfect example with the Arachne Queen in Mass Effect 1. I sat there for a good minute. I was like, all right, let me weigh the pros and let me weigh the cons. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be the guy responsible for the extinction of a race, so I will spare you. But if you fuck up again, I will end you. And then Mass Effect 2, you see a lady that's possessed by the Queen, just telling her, keep it straight and narrow. And then Mass Effect 3, it doesn't matter, because if you didn't kill them, they get, captured or cloned or something like that?
Yeah, they come back anyway.
It doesn't matter what you choose. Even if you kill them in the first one, they got cloned, and you have to fight them in the third one anyway, which is fine.
So, do you feel, let's just take this like this, do you feel if they actually made it 4 games, let's say they did a 4th game.
Well, there's a 4th game coming.
Let's say they made it 4 games instead of the trilogy, the original with Shepard.
This is when you get your non-numbered sequel.
Well, you got to funnel people into a certain ending, right? And I think with 3, because of 2 widening things so much with choices, then 3 bringing you into that funnel too quickly. Maybe if they made a whole game of you starting to lessen the choices.
I love that people can actually see your hand gestures now.
I know. This is great.
This is how you talk.
I do this on the podcast, but nobody can see me doing this.
Or maybe, Mass Effect 4 could just be a dream sequence, with 3. Just be like, whichever wakes up close.
Maybe the second half.
That was a bad dream.
Yeah.
Or, they could do some time
but
travel and, retcon stuff,
Truthfully, if the end was X-Men... Why'd you say X-Men? Mass Effect 2, you had that ending at the end of 3 where everything you did had, a variety of endings. Even if it's just the same ending, just better or worse, depending on who survives or whatever, that would have been fine. People would have felt they had agency with their choices. Even if the because you think of the choices in Mass Effect 2, you felt like it mattered. But it probably did less than you thought while playing. You're still going to play that last level, go through the same motions, but they'll tell you who lived or died or who will be with you or not. Will change.
A lot of it didn't matter, too, because the Mass Effect 2 cast, half of them you couldn't even recruit in the third one. It was just special cameos. It's like, oh, look, I'm at this, Frost planet, and who happens to be here?
Too many choices in the second game. That's why.
It's strange seeing you around here. What have you been up to, man? Just defending against the Reapers and shit.
And I guess that's the thing. When you have choice in games and you spread out the saves through 3 games, you get exponentially more options. Are we going to see someone try that again?
Well, my point was, if you bring it together more slowly, I don't think it's as this sucks. I don't think it's as impactful as a terrible ending. If you took another game,
does that mean there's a game or two where it's just this is getting less choice filled as it goes along? Because
it's
how you want to close your series?
Because it's happening slower. I think you have a better people will. I think you can almost trick people into not realizing it.
Well, what do you guys think about choices and games?
Love to hear from you. So
that's
AllYouCanGeek.
That's a lot of what we've been talking about pretty much since the beginning.
Podcast, AllYouCanGeek.net.
So, just some of my most memorable... I think my most memorable episodes, though, from us, just getting away from the Mass Effect talk, guys.
We can move on.
See? There we go. And some of my most memorable episodes were probably by Adrian Brody's nose. And who was the Butterface?
Erica Durant.
Erica Durant.
Yeah,
I don't think I've laughed... we couldn't continue the podcast. It's on one of the early episodes. If you haven't listened to that.
Episode 7 or something like that.
It was early. We couldn't continue for maybe 15 minutes. It was just I was laughing so much. I don't even know if we edited some of that out. But
I think there was episode the thing gets a name or something.
Yeah, I think it's a name.
And then also...
and Eric
Erica Durant.
Erica Durant was a Butterface.
Sorry.
For those who listen, also just to give you a heads up, when you're hearing us ending a podcast, now I don't know how often this has happened when you do the recordings. Maybe because we switched. I used to do the recordings back in the earlier days because I used to record with my little Zoom mic, and then Corey took over because he's got the Mac GarageBand or whatever it is, and you can make good podcasts for that. But every now and again, we add at the end of the episode some, mistakes, some bloopers.
Yeah, some of the bloopers that we cut out.
I used to do it a lot on the older podcast. So if you listen and you hear us wrap up, just kind of keep listening, and you'll hear some bloopers that we'll throw in at the end of how. It's amazing how hard it is to actually start a podcast.
Yeah, I think a couple times you were out, I tried to do it and failed miserably.
For a little bit.
And there's a couple that I put on there.
I have yet to try it. I might someday soon when Jim's not around.
The rolling start is a much better one, but just do a cold start podcast. It's not fun.
Well, I think we're definitely going to work on getting like a jingle or something. I think that's that'd be cool.
I think, we're going to start a brand new venture here with the 200, and moving forward, I think we got a lot of good stuff ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a reboot and a
Stay tuned.
Remastered, definitive edition.
In fact,
we're going Capcom on you.
Just double check that it's still rolling there too.
Yeah, sure.
Just double check. We don't have the best of setups. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Stand by.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to double check, but it's still got the record button going, right? So
You can still see us.
don't hit anything. If anybody could see this setup, they'd be laughing.
we had to
really
just moving a
jiggle
little
or
bit
something.
towards Jim.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. See, adjustments. Getting a little closer. Now we got to really get in close, guys. All right, so let's get to some quick news here for an actual podcast.
Let's do it.
Anytime you guys want to reminisce, just interrupt me and we will. So kicking off, we're going to go to movie news. Let's go with some Avengers news. We got tons of Avengers news, actually. Well, Marvel news.
Marvel Studios.
So Marvel Studios released their
plans.
3 movies coming in 2017. There's 5 new release dates they released today.
Yep.
And,
Starting 2017, 2018, 2019.
Still playing chicken with Captain America and Batman.
According to Kevin Feige, it's staying there.
All right.
I'm going to be right this time.
Do we have a bet for that?
Yeah.
Oh,
What was?
all right.
Let's go over what this bet was again.
No, I'm saying Captain America stays on its date, and DC's movie, Batman vs. Superman, moves off.
I think the wash is if they don't move either.
If either don't move, then
I think there's a wash.
One of them is going to move.
But I took obviously. Well, Captain
just
America's moving.
It's just a
I still
waste.
stand by that statement.
Why? Why would Captain America?
I
move?
think.
Oh, that's what he keeps saying, but it's going to happen.
Marvel is the big dog in the house.
they don't need to move.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do we got for other dates here?
So
They haven't announced what these films are, but they're going to be.
They haven't announced them.
They haven't announced what they.
Oh, these are all Phase 3 stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
They just
This just announced the
they
dates.
just announced
Okay.
projects. I'm going to guess there's going to be a Doctor Strange movie, definitely, because they've already been looking into casting apparently, and they dropped that rumor hint, that mention of the Stephen Strange's name in Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier.
How much do you think depends on Guardians of the Galaxy as the first really out there Marvel thing that they're trying to sell to the mainstream?
That's going to be a sequel in Phase 3.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
So far, it's
Do you
actually
think
getting
it's
good
gonna
buzz
do well?
right now.
I think so.
Critically, but I think it's always getting.
I think it's going to have August in the bag. I mean, there's nothing else really. It's coming out. I mean, Turtles might be okay, but
It's not going to do Guardians money.
no.
No, it won't do well on sales. I mean, the movie doesn't look bad.
You don't think
We don't
Turtles will do
lose.
Guardians money?
No,
I mean, plus you
I
got
don't think so either.
it's not about the Turtles anymore. It's about the Marvel Disney push, and that's
I
gonna
get this, but
push it over the top.
Michael Bay already sold us a lot of 80s toys and movies.
He's not directing this one.
It doesn't matter. His name is so attached to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Marvel's gonna still beat it. It doesn't matter if it's because it's coming from Marvel and Disney. It's gonna make much more. Not much.
Yeah.
I don't know about much more, but it's gonna make more money than Turtles.
And definitely worldwide. I don't think Turtles really
in
has
the
a lot
long
of.
run. Yeah. Turtles will
worldwide.
probably open strong.
We'll
But
see what
then
happens. I mean, everyone
they'll
expects
die
it to be horrible.
Turtles?
Yeah.
The recent trailers actually kind of swayed me to probably not to all right, maybe a matinee or I'd like to do a drive-in combination where you get to see 2 movies. So maybe if that's paired up with another movie, I don't know. I like
Well,
that.
see, there you go. Cap and DC.
Sit back to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still not going to stay on the same.
It would be
level.
awesome. I would love for both of them to just not.
Not
Fine,
me.
that's right. Just fucking not move.
There's a good chance that
and just butt heads.
That DC will come up with another reason, like another delay, to just not be there. I think
Ben
that's...
Affleck will suddenly get
I say move it up.
Millennium Falcon.
Why not? Just move it up.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, that movie's going to be done for a long time.
April is a big month now.
They could, well, they could
I
do
mean,
that.
we saw how, Cap opened up in May, right?
No,
April
April
4.
Right.
Cap did fine on April.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it took until Transformers to actually beat that opening, so... I mean, that was
This
a
year's
long time.
been very not memorable in
Very
terms
low.
of movies. Yeah.
a little lower than most, but nothing huge.
Well, I think, Spider-Man flip-flopping a little bit, kind of showing the decay of the franchise, I think.
Yeah.
That's me.
I mean, X-Men did really well.
No,
It's
X-Men
doing really well overseas
Return to
also.
form, yeah.
Well, I'm not just movies doing well. I'm talking about like good quality movies. I mean, X-Men was good. I enjoyed it, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, obviously. I enjoyed
There's
it.
X-Men, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier's not a summer movie.
You keep saying that, but we're
But
talking about throughout the year.
We're talking about the year.
Through the year, okay.
But I mean, you look before that, like what really came out. I mean, one of the bigger movies was still Frozen. I think that just ended its
That was
domestic
December.
run. That was December. Yeah, it was last year. But I mean, look how well that did. I mean,
that's biggest film, of 2013.
Okay.
Basically.
I'm actually looking forward to what is it, Big Hero 6?
Yeah.
Or Big 6, whatever it is.
I think you're right.
I think
Hero 6.
with the proper push from Disney.
That's the Disney film.
Based
It's
on the
got
comic.
got the Marvel backing.
And the other thing, going back to Guardians of the Galaxy, I think they're going to get a big media / social media blitz because it's coming right off the heels of San Diego Comic-Con at the end of the month here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, isn't San Diego Comic-Con this weekend?
Next week.
Oh, next weekend?
Oh, wait, is it? No, it's next week. Yes,
It's
next week.
Okay.
So,
Probably shouldn't get the table.
yeah.
From the recording.
Yeah.
All right, so this may sound pretty bad too, so we'll see. But anyways, do you want to? This has got some spoilers here. I don't know if you guys want to mention this news, the Vision and Ultron news. That they
Well, I
released.
think people know Vision's going to be in Avengers 2.
Yeah, but I mean, there's more of an origin for it now. We know what they're. Who
There's a
they
lot
are
of
in these
speculation.
movies. Well, yeah, but
And this is kind of more
Well,
confirmed.
we talked
is
about this
confirmed.
before because I think when
Yeah.
we were discussing the Ant-Man thing back then, it was still
Well,
looking.
Ultron did get leaked that it was Tony Stark's creation.
Right.
Now they know why he created him, and we know why from Iron Man 3. When he allowed Jarvis to pilot those suits, the character then realizes that he doesn't have to put himself in as much danger all the time, so he creates Ultron.
Mhm.
And then Ultron naturally sees human beings as the most dangerous thing.
Danger to himself.
Yeah, so then he needs to destroy them. So that just to keep it more vague from this article, and then to show that he is like the intelligence in the world, he creates Vision. So that's how Vision gets created, and that's why he sounds like.
I mean, they
Jarvis.
did say that Paul Bettany is the voice of Jarvis. It's not a coincidence that he's also playing Vision.
Yeah, and that's the point. Like because it's created from Jarvis, who's now Ultron, essentially, because he's created from Tony Stark.
So Jarvis is going to bang Scarlet Witch in another movie or two. So.
There you go.
That's how it happens in the comics, right?
He bangs Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, they get married.
I didn't know that. He's an android. All right.
I don't make the rules.
All right. What else we got on this news? We got Falling Skies, which Corey and I love. That's a good show.
It's a good
Watch
summer
it.
show.
It's on TNT. It's a summer show. It's ending next season, season 5. It got renewed, which is good. Ending in season 5. So
That sounds
after it's
good.
over, check it out if you haven't watched it yet. I think it's on. It will be on Netflix if it's not by that point. So watch it then. And then Turtles news.
Yeah.
We just talked about what's going on here.
Okay, we talked about this early on in our last year, I believe, in our podcasts.
Coverage of this.
Well, their origins, basically.
Yeah.
How they were going to be not mutant and not ninjas. They were going to be alien turtles, essentially. But it's been confirmed that they are
That
going
was so
to...
debunked, though. Like,
It was
months
gonna
and
go-
months ago. I mentioned that, and you guys are like, we'll see. Blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
yeah, I mean, this is confirmed. I mean, this guy, working on...
because
the
this guy confirmed it.
Well,
then
he's
it's okay.
he's director.
So you didn't believe Michael Bay?
Jonathan
He flat
Lee's-
out said they're going to.
Why would you
No,
believe
because it's
Michael Bay?
I believe Michael Bay.
When was the
I had
last time you
no
lied? When was the
doubt
last
that they
time
were
you
going to
lied?
be there.
Last time he promoted a Transformers movie and
What
said
did he
it
say?
was good.
Well,
That's his opinion. That's opinion
opinion. Who would say their movie's going to be terrible?
This
Anyways.
movie? The
No.
Turtles
I mean,
movie?
what director would come out and say, "No, this movie's going to be bad. Don't go see it." Unless
Right.
you're Jim Carrey with
Yeah.
Kick-Ass.
He didn't say that. He's just like, oh, there's guns.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
It's violent. I don't endorse this movie. So the Turtles' origin is the Turtles' origin that you know, mutagen. They turned the
Well,
Turtles.
I mean, we saw the trailers with the ooze.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. But that was the point. Like, you didn't know. Like, is that...
I don't know. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm happy though. I'm very happy.
Yeah, they're still
Ninja Turtles.
teenagers too, which was also, I think, up for debate early on.
Yeah, which they don't look like teenagers.
They don't, but who cares?
They look like turtles in a half shell.
They could be
Heroes in a half shell.
turtles, and I don't think anyone would care too much either.
April O'Neil is the central protagonist of the story.
Oh boy.
So we get a lot of Megan Fox.
That's exactly what everyone wanted.
No.
It was Megan Fox from Transformers 1. I'd be interested. But
At that point, yeah, everybody was.
She's had a little work
too much
done
surgery.
since then.
Too much.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
She had a kid too, right?
It looks like
Oh,
it.
that's fine. I don't mind. Whatever. You age, but when you start
She's
slicing
like
and dicing
27.
your face.
Yeah.
She's like my age.
Yeah, but she's slicing up her face.
Yeah, why?
She's too
'Cause
young, man.
That's what happens in Hollywood.
Can't sustain.
That's how you get jobs.
She looks about as realistic as the Turtles will in this movie, I think.
Maybe. All right. I think that's all we have for movie news. Let's get into what we've been up to, guys. And it's only been a couple of days since our recording.
Podcast.
Yeah,
Since our
we're
podcast.
recording this only a few days later.
Oh, well, we even recorded late last week too. We skipped it. We won one day late.
Yeah.
So
why did we do that again?
because I couldn't make it. No, wait. Yeah, I was going. It was Tim's, my brother's celebration. He got a new job. So
Lots of new jobs going around.
yeah, lots of new jobs. So yeah, what we've been up to in 3 days. Anybody? Anything new, Tony?
Nope.
I still haven't finished Guacamelee. I still haven't finished.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did have. So I don't have a Vita yet, but my brother picked one up recently. And since I have my PlayStation Plus account for, 2 or 3 years now, I've accumulated quite the collection. So last night when I visited him, I gave him my account because he only had one game. So I was like, dude, just erase that shit, get my account on there, and then you can play I don't know. I think I had 20 games in total. He didn't even download them all. He's like, I don't know if I play that much. You don't have to. Doesn't
What
cost
size
anything.
card did he have?
64 gigabytes.
Oh,
Yeah, which is pretty decent.
I mean, that's the biggest, the largest storage mine you can get.
Yeah, it's different because I think this might be the first time I held it without it being attached to or tethered to the retail display where you can only hold it in a certain position and limited movement. But the screen is nice, of course. Obviously, it is the original model, so it's the OLED screen, not the 2.0. I actually don't like the position of the thumbsticks on it. I'm feeling that when I was holding it with the D-pad and the buttons, that my thumb just were barely grazing against the thumbstick, and it just totally messed me up. I just was so conscious of it every single passing moment. I don't know if that was corrected or if you found that to be a.
I mean, my hands are a lot smaller, so it could be the size of your hands too that has an effect on it. But I don't really have a problem with it too much. But I do find it more natural to go to the D-pad than to the thumbstick.
Right, the thumbstick's kind of a little bit lower.
It's just and it's also not what you're used to because you're getting that double thumbstick action here, but it's not like a controller.
Right,
it's such a small knob that it does change the way you.
Right. The navigation was a little weird on the interface too because I had to play around with it. I was like,
their UI is terrible.
I was like, all right, so this is completely the opposite of iOS, which I think most people now would agree is pretty much standard or de facto touchscreen navigation style, where it's move left and right, and this you move up and down. I'm like, why would you do up and down?
I just came to the realization that goofing around during the podcast when we're videotaping doesn't really work too well.
No,
sorry. I apologize, Tony.
It's all right.
But I'm sorry.
That's pretty good.
So the navigation I felt was a little weird, and especially because you had to swipe the pages or something.
Right,
I was like, what is this?
And these are the bubble things are the worst because they don't. It's just
I don't like how it's bubbles and swiping. I think if they picked one or the other, it would have been fine. But the bubbles just I don't know. The layout is just not intuitive to me at all. It's kind of this is a thing. All right, it's over here.
If they made it more like PS4, even PS3, I would like that better.
Yeah. I've always not liked that part of it.
Yeah, the UI is really bad.
Yeah.
They need to change it, but I don't know how ingrained into this.
Yeah, and the other thing that was terrible is that you can only attach one PSN account to a device.
At a time.
And it just makes me mad because I'm like, well, what if you had kids that were sharing or something like that?
Well, that's always been the issue.
They should, and I understand it.
Wasn't that just fixed with the newer consoles, anyways? Though the older consoles, you can only have one. Oh no,
No,
that's
PS3
right.
used to have like
yeah,
6.
yeah. I'm sorry. You're
And then
right.
they shortened it, I think, to
How
2
could
or
they
3.
not put that on their handheld?
Because they were
It's
worried
been in
about game sharing. I'm sure. I mean, how often are you going to game share? Console games, but
Mobile
portable
stuff's
games.
a lot
You can
easier,
just turn off the Wi-Fi and suddenly you have all your games on like 10 devices or something like that. So, I mean, I understand it. I don't like it. Not that anybody else is doing that other than iOS, because I mean, iOS doesn't give a fuck. Like, oh, you bought the app, you can install it on like 1 million devices if you really wanted to. That's fine. We got ours. You get yours.
It's all their devices anyway. It's not like you're putting it on some other device.
Right.
So
exactly.
you're getting it either on your Mac or your iPad or iPhone or it's all,
and the thing is,
going to them.
I think it'd be definitely to their benefit where they should allow that, because honestly, like, yeah, you're going to lose some game sales, but if it entices people to pick up your device, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And especially with how handhelds are, on the decline because of the rise of iOS and Android.
I definitely think they've done a lot though so far, like with the cross buys. Is really
the cross
cool.
buy is nice.
Cross saving is it's a good way to promote that. Yeah, there's another place that you can do these.
Yeah,
play these games, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to move the perception of the games though on the handheld are they're not console games, so it's like they're usually played in shorter spurts.
Mm-hmm.
So buying, what's one of the cross buy examples? Give me a game.
Cross buy game?
Well, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, like Flower and Escape Plan.
Okay, so those are small games, anyways.
Right.
There's nothing major that does it. Not that those aren't good games. I'm just saying.
Major, as in
like a real game.
Well, they're all real games. But
you know what I mean?
Like we know what you mean. I do.
Thank you, Mike.
I mean, you're not getting like Watch Dogs and then getting the Watch Dogs.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
you're getting like
the experience should be different.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for indie titles because they're usually a shorter, like sit down and play game. That's the point of the handheld.
Well, you wouldn't
PlayStation Battle Royale was cross buy.
You wouldn't get a full
Sly Cooper was cross buy.
$60 game though.
So those are bigger titles.
But I mean, how well do they do? Because like that's my point. Like I don't know if it's a feature that's used that much because of the fact that those kind of, like if I'm going to play, let's take Uncharted 3. Let's say it was. I don't want to play Uncharted 3 in a handheld for a long, that or like a long period of time. I'd rather have a handheld experienced Uncharted game, which they make. There's no reason to have that cross save functionality. I think it takes away from the game itself.
I think it's more important for like the classic, like PS1 and PS2 classics.
The smaller games,
and
indies and
right. And I said this about Nintendo because they're dropping the ball in that aspect too. Like, let's say I download Chrono Trigger on either my PlayStation or my Wii or whatever like that, and I'm going on a road trip. Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to upload or transfer the save over to my 3DS or my Vita and pick up exactly where I left off, and when I'm done, come back and just play it on my big screen TV or CRT, I guess, if you really wanted to
go
that old
back.
school feature. Do that, and I think they're both companies are dropping the ball in that regards. And Nintendo, especially, I mean, there are so many virtual console games that they could pick and choose from since the NES, and I'm hoping we could move forward to that in the future with the next device, because I think they kind of think is starting to finally bite them in the ass a little bit about that, because like they're really like the lone wolf in that regard. Like everybody else, just like you buy something, it comes with your account. Like that's it. You get a new system, or you want a different color. Like,
look at PlayStation Plus and Xbox. Like those games are tied to your account now. Same with like iOS, right? And if Nintendo can get their act together, and you buy something here, then you can bring it with you. I mean, that'll be huge for them. I think. Yeah, definitely. Especially if they're going to be going more towards a mobile platform.
I think towards that. I think the unification of like the console and handheld. I think definitely we're going to see Nintendo do a device that will have both. So
I think it's going to be
instead of having like Mirror Tennis, like DS version Mirror Tennis console.
I mean, it could be something as simple as like that gamepad, just like clicking into something. And
I think it's going to be more of a dock setup where you would have a docking station essentially where you pull your handheld out and play it. Not cross save because it's the same device, but one docking station make it console. I think that's what Nintendo will do,
and
that's what they should do.
They should do because a lot of it, and we talk about how both the 3DS and the Wii U had pretty terrible first years because Nintendo was busy supporting the older devices because they had the software in the works. Mm-hmm. If you make it so that it operates on a base level and you just do tweaks or performance enhancements, like okay, so the 3DS version might not look as good, like Smash Brothers on the 3DS. But you can do the HD assets, which isn't that much more complicated. Just better looking and higher fidelity. With the Wii U version, you can develop both titles at the same time and release them on both platforms. That way, no matter which device you have, there's no drought. So I think that's definitely something they should go towards. And if Sony continues to go down the handheld venture, I think that's something they might want to look into too. But I don't know. Vita sales.
Vita's becoming more of an accessory to the PlayStation 4 than anything else.
Right, than its own console.
Which I made that statement actually, like second week of that console. So the Vita is the accessory.
Should have made a bet on it, Jim.
I just want to point it out. I said it when the PlayStation 4 came out. It makes a good accessory for the PS4. So, what are we up to?
Yeah,
a little tangent.
What the
that's
hell
all right.
happened?
Mike, go ahead. You've been quiet.
I haven't done much since then. I finally rewatched, even though it didn't get my full attention, but I kind of rewatched The Dark Knight Rises finally. And I don't like it as much as the first time. It had its moments, and
her death sequence was so bad.
Yeah, I looked at that again. That was actually a little less bad as I remembered. I remember it being like she went. Bleh. It wasn't quite that bad, but
people were laughing in the theater. I saw it twice.
Well, I think what happened.
And both times they were laughing.
There was a moment of pause, as in like, wait, is she dead? And then
she's dead or
she's dead.
She did. She actually closed her eyes like a little kid does when they're like, "Oh, I'm dead."
Yes, that's the way.
So that's what happened there.
I'm like,
it was so abrupt.
Do they film one take with that, or is that the best she could do?
They revealed that early on she was in 1 month pregnant at that time. So maybe they're like, "Oh, we're not going to make her do a second take."
Nah,
she's pregnant, so maybe that's why.
I think they, as a professional, they definitely should have found a workaround then or something.
I don't know how they looked at that and thought, "Oh, this is perfect. We got it, guys.
We got it.
Nailed it. One and done."
Overall, I just.
What did you give that? Because you reviewed that. What did you give that originally? 8?
Maybe an 8. Now it would be maybe a 7.
I would agree with a 7.
I mean, it's good storytelling, even though there's that whole how does he get there again? I mean,
there's definitely some gaps.
He's famous. He can hitchhike.
Yep.
And I don't know. And of course, I think someone proved that it's impossible for him to get suitably far away and an autopilot in that time at the end. If anyone has any idea what they mean, then it's not.
Well, also the magic of him showing back up in Gotham.
I just mentioned that.
Oh, did you? I wasn't really paying attention.
How about the magic of him climbing that bridge and putting oil or whatever it was to do the bat symbol?
Right.
Where the fuck did you find time to do that? It's Gotham has been under gang control for a year.
Here we are getting oppressed, and you're wasting your time with that.
Yeah, exactly.
You must have used the flying thing that has a spray oil function.
Autopilot.
Yes,
that saved his life at the end.
But I mean, it has moments, but. So, I think Batman Begins, in retrospect, it's a better movie than The Dark Knight Rises after seeing that again.
Yeah,
definitely.
Agreed. I think Tony had said that before. So,
I said that when the movie came out.
Yes,
but you guys were doing a little fanboy. It's okay.
Well, when it was new, it was exciting.
I never said that was a good movie. Well, I said it was decent. It was okay.
Again, this was the one where me and Corey were in one theater where everyone was super pumped, that big crowd reactions. Jim, I don't know who you were with.
I was with Matt in the other theater.
We got the IMAX.
Yeah, and no one seemed to care in there. People even applauded the Robin comment for us.
Yeah.
That was cringe.
You should use your real name, Robin. Because Robin's real name is Robin.
Because that adds anything to the movie.
It's like Robin Batmanson.
Robin Batmanson, yes. All right. Did you guys see the Damien thing in the comics coming back and he's a zombie?
Well, there's an image they're teasing for him. I guess he's going to come back, but he looks like a zombie. I don't know. That's just an image, so it could be cover art, which has nothing to do with the actual contents of the story normally.
Unless it's
no one stays dead. Although he is a newer character, so you think maybe they could just erase him. But probably not. People liked him. He was a good change of pace.
Doesn't matter. Can't stay dead.
No.
Come back.
Anyways, continuing what we've been up to, I've been playing Guacamelee, which we talked about before. Challenging. I don't know if you guys want to get into that, but
well, I mean, it's tough when you have to go from the living to the non-living worlds, and then hang from stuff. and then jump and switch and all that. That's tough. But
I
can
got
see
to
it
the
being
very frustrating
easier
parts.
on a controller.
I was in very frustrating parts. Well, yeah, you're right. It is. But there was parts where I was going to quit last night. I was like, this game is just too much of a jump in terms
You're
of
not hardcore enough, Jim.
Yeah, well,
just like playing Lion King on the Genesis with those logs down the waterfall.
Mm-hmm. Kill la Kill. Watch that. That's pretty much it. Oh, Master Chef Junior.
How far into
Kill la Kill? I'm on 19.
All right, I'm getting to the end.
Yeah.
So you got to the point where she's the club leader.
Well, yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts.
That was a good episode. I got now. She's in Nudist Beach.
Nudist Beach.
She's there, and
they're all there.
Yeah, they've all kind of just had that big war, the raid, the student raid, just finished up, and they just said that her mother's going to visit the school, the main antagonist.
The mom.
Yeah, that's the word.
Check to him. All right, so that's all I've been up to, Corey.
Since the last time, not much.
Yeah.
But I played Ollie Ollie on the Vita, which is a skateboarding game. It's kind of like an endless runner type of style game, but you're doing tricks, trying to get a high score, things like that. It's actually a lot of fun. It's definitely meant for like a handheld device, which is good. It's coming to PS4 and PlayStation 3. But other than that, the Destiny beta I played. So I played a lot of that. It's basically the start of the game. You're doing the first mission, opening cutscene. You start from the beginning, level 0, basically, and you get to the point where where you're in the alpha, but you're not there yet. And it's really good. I still haven't gotten through all of it yet, but
I think we're going to end up streaming some of that later. Yeah. You'll already have seen that, I think, when the time this gets posted. But we're going to stream a little bit of that, I believe. So check out the
Hopefully we did good.
AllYouCanGeek Twitch. We have our own AllYouCanGeek Twitch account, so check that channel out.
Look at that.
Anything else?
That's it. All right. It's only been a few days, like we said.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some gaming news. Let's kick it off with MPD.
Okay.
Going right into the MPD numbers, which we had open someplace.
Mm-hmm.
There they are.
PlayStation was number 1 again.
Yep. They had announced. They had announced on the podcast. Oh, we talked about it on the last podcast. So they announced that Xbox One sales doubled.
Right. Did a little bit more than double.
It did a little more than double, which was good. They undercut themselves, which was nice, but still got beat by the PS4. So the PS4 did 270 roughly, 270,000, whereas the Xbox One 197. So that's still a pretty good margin. Like when we were talking about the podcast was if let's say Microsoft came in at 197, PS4 came in at 207. That's not a huge difference at that point. That's fine. And then what they've done is justifiable. But I mean, Sony had a pretty good bounce back month considering they did 190 last month. Right?
Yeah. Something like that.
So they did 190 the month before, and now they're up to 270 again.
What do you think that jump is from?
It's a 5-week month.
Oh, it's 5 weeks.
Oh, yeah,
the typical way you do it is you take the monthly results, you divide it by how many weeks in the month, and you get a weekly average. So the PS4 average weekly from May to June went up slightly, which is typical because June is graduation, Father's Day,
gifts,
gift season. So it makes sense. But I just think this. Don't get me wrong, Xbox had a good month, but I just think, it's just indicative of the rest of the generation.
Of the third system.
This isn't a curse, this is Microsoft fucking up.
Well,
there's no curse.
Tell me what Sony did.
Exactly. Sony just said, and I've said this before on the podcast, Sony just came on the stage and said, we're not Microsoft. Dropped the mic, went off, and everybody applauded.
But they learned from the mistakes they made
from their third system.
Third system didn't come out to
but nothing they did on the fourth one was really.
They dropped the price by $200.
Yeah.
From the first one, the third
PS4
one.
is $200 cheaper than PS4.
Right. So they realized that there is a certain price that you can release a console at.
Yeah.
Which again shows we're not Microsoft.
Yeah, but if you look at the history of consoles, though,
not just we're not Microsoft, they're pricing their own stuff.
No, the point of his point is they made these mistakes on the PS3, their third system, and they've learned from that. Now, Microsoft is making these same mistakes on their third system, and
the mistakes are different though, completely different. You think price is the only thing that's
people?
Well, but we just saw with equal pricing, people still prefer the PlayStation 4.
Because they already have
perception now.
What game has come out on the PS4 that
it doesn't matter? It's perception.
Exactly. I'm saying PlayStation has done nothing to continue the momentum that they gained from E3, where they announced the price and no DRM.
Right, but that's the thing was the price is going to get people to come to you first and foremost, and then the fact that obviously Microsoft made a big mistake with the DRM stuff and they're always online, and the Kinect that people don't want. They didn't learn that people didn't want that. They're still trying to force feed you that Kinect, and it's not what people wanted. That they finally had to remove it. And I said on the podcast that would happen, and I believe you said it wasn't going to happen.
right before they even announced the bundle, we talked about it that week in the podcast. I was like, they're going to take out the Kinect, go to $399. And you guys like, nope. Well, you said no.
I said no because if they're going to go taking out the Kinect, they should go cheaper, is what I said. And I was right.
No, you weren't.
I did say that.
No, you
if
didn't.
they're going to take the Kinect out, they should go cheaper.
They should
cheaper than the
PlayStation.
Yeah.
But they didn't go cheaper than the PS4.
That's where they made their mistake on
You said they were going to do $399 with the Kinect. I said there is no way.
Well, I thought that they shouldn't have cut the Kinect entirely. It's part of their system. I said that then. I'm saying now. It is. It's what differentiates it from the PS4. The PS4 is more powerful. What does the Xbox have now without the Kinect?
Nothing.
Exactly.
It has Halo.
Well, yes, it's got
backing of Microsoft's money.
It's got Halo and
but there's no Halo to save it.
different
now.
controller.
Even the Master Chief Collection in November, I don't think it's going to.
Is that in November?
Cool. November. That's what I mean. Like,
November.
It's a big holiday title.
Yeah, but
It's not.
It's not going to like double sales for them. I don't see that older game doubling their sales.
Well, the other thing is, like, if you wanted a Kinect, you can't buy one if you already bought a PS or an Xbox without one.
You will by the holiday. I think by the holiday you'll see it.
Yeah,
$200
price for it.
$200.
That's the Windows when it's for PC.
Yeah, but I think
Well, they're going to come out with one.
But they have to.
They have to, yeah.
But I'm saying it's not available now.
Right.
Yeah,
They just say, like, you know what? Fuck this thing. Get it out of here.
Well,
here, same price as PS4.
What they're going to do is, for the holiday, it's perfect because, okay, well, you own your Xbox One now pick up the Kinect for Christmas.
You can sell your Kinect on eBay.
There's a reason why they took it off. No one wants it.
Right.
There's nothing.
Nobody's
to do with
making games for it other than.
And the one person the one developer that was making games, they screwed over.
Big time.
I don't know. I just think that's indicative of the rest of the generation that we're going to see. Huge lead. And this is their strongest market. This is Microsoft's strongest market.
Well, it could be what do you think, 80-50?
What is it?
80 million, 50 million final? That's a big...
No, I don't think they're getting 80 million.
I don't even think PS4 is going to make it.
You know what it always is?
Like
It's
10.
always the system that
They're near
releases
10.
first.
Yeah.
That's really it. The system that releases first at a good price, that's it.
Well, Wii U came out first.
Wii U doesn't count.
Why?
Because they don't really compete for the same
They were
market.
trying to.
I know, and they failed miserably because they came out with
But
one
they
game.
came out first. You're saying they're console that comes out first.
No,
That's
between
not true
the
then.
similarly
Hardware.
powered systems, that's all that really matters. The install base.
Wii U,
You
speaking
come
of
out at a
them,
reasonable price.
just to get a number out real quick, is Wii U did 140K. 140,000 systems last month.
So
That's pretty good.
well, it's got the
Right.
game that actually came out recently,
Right.
Mario Kart.
But I like...
The other systems haven't had a
We
big game
had...
in a long time.
Yeah, we had a conversation during these numbers via text message where, like, if you read this, there's certain places you can go to read threads and stuff. I'm not going to say any websites, but everybody's very happy for 140,000 for the Wii U, and how are they then not happy for 197 for Microsoft?
I think it's different expectations.
Then they're not. Then they're not
Because,
competing.
like I just said,
That's why I
Microsoft
stopped
is
it.
competing directly with Sony.
Then they're
And
not
Nintendo's
But that's
doing the same
only
thing.
for console worship. They're all competing for consumer dollars, and that's ultimately what matters.
And 197,000 is a good amount of consumer dollars.
But
It's better than what
But the
Nintendo
thought
pulled.
is,
Sure.
like, you're taking away, like with Microsoft and Sony, the thought is you're taking away their money where Nintendo is grabbing from a different pot. So
they're grabbing usually the double system buyer where they buy a PS4 and a Wii U.
or Nintendo.
That's
fans.
one context of the conversation. Sure, we could have that, but I think if we're talking about the overall console market, it's not good for anybody at all because you still have to have these people making games,
Mhm.
and I don't think any of this. Yeah, sure, PS4 is doing good. PS4 is doing good. Xbox is
PS4 is doing very well right now. You can't say it's
Wii
not.
U is practically bad.
PS4 is doing very well. It's tracking above the Wii. Still.
Right, which was supply constrained.
Still tracking above the Wii in sales.
Right, but we'll see how much.
You're
you
right.
think it's going to last
You're
long?
right. You're right. You can say we'll see, but I'm telling you what's right now. You have to say it's doing very well right now.
In America.
I mean,
What's
worldwide,
doing well
it's doing
in
pretty
Japan?
Huh?
What's doing well in Japan?
Console-wise.
Huh?
Neither of the consoles.
Exactly.
PS3.
What's doing well in Europe? The PS4 is doing pretty well in Europe.
PS4 is doing all right.
Yeah, there you go. They're really only the Japan market is not as
It's
impactful
gone.
anymore.
It doesn't.
I was
I don't
totally
even-
wrong about
I mean,
Japan. They don't
yeah,
care
you're
about
right.
it. It doesn't matter anymore for them. I don't think Sony cares about Japan.
It's Europe and
whatsoever.
America.
And then China when that.
Yeah, and China's going to be a huge, possibly huge market. Who knows?
But yeah, I mean,
Get their piracy.
this is completely flip flop. Is why people say the Xbox isn't doing well. It's because Xbox was blowing PS3 out of the water
In these markets.
in these markets.
Yeah.
I mean, UK they were doing great, but I think PS3 won in the Europe as a whole.
Mhm.
But in North America, it was like flip flop. I mean, you're at like 75 to 25% basically, and now it's the other way around. It's where Sony's got all the monies and Xbox is chasing them. So
Yeah, I mean, if they
Like,
sustain this number for a while,
They won't.
you can't. But
They won't.
if they're at,
pointing
make
at
a bet?
a screen with numbers on it, guys.
huh?
They're watching you point at screens, but they don't.
We
see
just
it.
mentioned numbers. We said 271. If they maintain this number,
I know. I'm just saying that listeners, like,
if they stay,
or
if
viewers,
they average 200,000 for the rest of the year a month,
Sure, that'd be
and
great.
then you know that in November, October, November, December, they're going to do better than that.
Right.
That's amazing. That's a great year. Amazing year for them.
Right. You think they're going to do 200,000 in July? 4-week month? 4
It's
week
so tough.
month? No, there's absolutely no way.
Yeah, you know what?
You get to a point
I can't make
too,
that. I can't make that
without
bet.
any release.
I can do it in August.
Without a release of real new games that will sell systems.
I can do it in September.
You're not going to get. You're going to have a big drop off because everyone who wants one is going to have one.
is Destiny beta gonna sell systems?
No.
Absolutely. I guarantee it.
No.
The beta.
I mean, this is
Beta.
we've had this discussion before. It's a beta, but obviously you think it does.
What?
I don't think it does.
Sell systems?
Yeah.
You were just about to make a bet that Sony's going to sell 200,000 units in
it
July.
might sell him assistants.
No, that's why I didn't make the bet because there's nothing for them to push this month.
Why are you buying a PS4 today?
Because
there's another catalog of games to play because there's nothing really left on the Xbox One.
What are you going to play? What are you going to play?
Not a lot of the
all the free ones.
Transistor.
Hmm.
That's it.
You play some Strider.
By the time I'm done playing the online games, like the little games, it'll be near September, and I can play Destiny on whichever system I choose. That's ultimately what came to the realization.
Okay.
So that's why I'm buying PS4 today. But,
Well, all right.
what? So, yeah, NPD number-wise,
Microsoft's doing better, but not good enough.
Microsoft's doing better.
Yeah. Not that they're not doing good enough though because they're losing 18,000 jobs.
Right, and that's what I was going to bring up next. is because-
12,500 of them are from Nokia.
Right, they're completely shutting off the Xbox Entertainment Division.
They are.
They're shutting that down,
Which
and
was part of their vision last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously they know they made the mistake last year with
their
that.
E3 was big, or the announcement, the TV stuff was all about the entertainment division that they're starting.
Yeah.
Right.
I know you guys are worried it's
pretty
not
much-
going to affect any of the Halo stuff.
Everything from that E3 was a disaster.
Ah, from Microsoft's side of things.
Yeah, from them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny that you call Michael Bay a liar, but nobody from Microsoft.
Who? The guy's gone.
Yeah, I know. So call them a liar. But you believed him last year.
What? Believe them from what?
Any of the things they talked
They
about.
had to make a change.
Connect is an important part of our future.
Yeah, well, listen, when people are clamoring saying we're not going to buy your system because of Connect,
Why didn't
what
they
the fuck
listen
are you
last
supposed
year?
to do?
Why didn't they listen last year?
I don't know, but
Wait, oh yeah, let's just change with the wind. Okay, people that are saying this now, then let's change with the wind.
Well, they changed the DRM issue. Why couldn't they do the Connect?
Because that was a more serious backlash.
Well, they
than
did
Connect.
do the Connect, Tony. They just
I'm
got
saying
rid of it.
Right, but why couldn't they do that back then? They were like, oh, it's part of infrastructure, blah,
they
blah,
want
blah.
to try.
It's like the other thing.
They're trying to push a device that
They
was,
wanted money.
Yeah, well,
Well, I don't know if they definitely want money. Everybody wants money, but it's not like they're going to be making $100 more because the Connect's in there.
yeah.
I guarantee
I know
you
what
the
happened.
price is probably like $450, $460.
I mean, does it cost? I mean, how much does it cost them to put a Connect in the system? I think it costs them more money to have it in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It costs
So
them
then, like
to have
that,
more in there.
yeah, exactly.
So it
they're
brings up
trying to push
the
that,
price.
right? And that's why they're trying to push that as much
And
as
I
they
guarantee
can.
they wanted to hopefully consolidate in those 2-year plans like they did with the 360 for a year or two. I
Well,
guarantee you, but it didn't work out because they got greedy. It is what it is.
there's-
I
Just
mean,
say
it
you're
didn't work
dead.
out because the Connect sucks.
doesn't work out because nobody wants it. And nobody's willing to give it a chance either.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't even work for me. Like, I mean, it works. Voice commands and stuff like that. The media side of it works fine at my house. However, if I try to play a Kinect game, it doesn't run because Kinect picks up everything in the room.
Right.
So it says there's an obstruction.
And what I said was, why couldn't you do the voice commands with a headset?
no,
I agree with you. Well, you could still do that. Absolutely.
Well, you can't though because it's not built that way.
I know, but you should have. They should have just built the microphone into the system. Is that what you're saying? And I agree.
Or
with
the controller.
I think I agree with you. Yeah.
Something like.
Or the controller. Yeah, microphone and the controller.
Yeah,
something. Because like just because if it's in the cabinet, you're not going to be able to hear it.
Yeah,
it has to be outside of.
All right. Just real quick. Software sales. Watchdog was number 1 because it's on every platform, but Mario Kart 8 was number 2, which is only on 1, which is pretty impressive. Let's see what the fall off is next month for the Wii U. I'm going to guess back down to, what do they usually sell, 40,000 units for the month or 60,000 units?
It'll still be up a little, I think.
I think it'll be.
think so.
I don't think it'll be 100.
People are pretty slow to buy things if they're, like, Nintendo owners. Like, they'll get there eventually. It'll be a kid's birthdays and stuff like that.
Jim, I believe right before E3 and during E3 we were talking about the momentum that Nintendo had during their press conference and the lack of a live press conference. And you're like, well, let's see this translate to sales. June sales are out of here.
This is of Mario Kart, not from their presentation.
Really? You don't think
sustained sales?
I have to say, you don't
sustained
sales.
Okay. Give me another month. If you give me 140 another month, then
they're not. Nobody is doing the same numbers this month. This was a 5-week month.
All right. If you break 100,000, then I'll listen to you.
Okay.
All right. I think it's going to wrap up episode 200.
Yes. Special video podcast.
Hopefully, it is a special video podcast.
It's been very special.
Yeah.
Remember, this is our first time doing a video podcast.
It's our first time. Don't judge us too hard.
Hopefully,
nobody's first time is good.
Hopefully, either
everybody's embarrassed.
Corey and I,
somebody it's not memorable for us.
Video editing. So, all right. If you have any questions, comments, write us podcast@allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter @allyoucangeek. We have the All You Can Geek Twitch channel, which we might be starting to stream from a little more.
Give us suggestions for stuff to play.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll be playing that this weekend. So I think that's it.
Thank you again for listening and watching.
And Zombance.
Zombance.
Zombance.